Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Go Mango. We're reviewing a thing. That's just the show we're doing. I'm your host, Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have...
Cinder Blaze. And Makotoa.
Man, my intro went so well for the watch-along. Anyway, we're going to be reviewing Lupin vs. Patranger 28. It's not good. There were good elements.
No,
I was mostly bored.
It was a good episode that went really sour towards the end.
Yeah, and it mostly had to do with the... usually the product placement, especially for this show, is fine. The thing they're shilling to us is at least neat looking, and there's some dope CGI around it. This time, I don't know who thought this was a good idea. Huh?
They went almost Rube on us. Like you were saying before, a lot of the new stuff sells itself, so they don't really have to shove it in our faces. This is the first time they've actually not the first time, but it really felt like they were just putting it in our faces, and it felt uncomfortable for this show, at least for me. When they used the new weapon to get an edge on the Gangler, when he was in his regular not tall mode, it looked cool, but we never really got an explanation of why it worked better than anything else. Because he was just shooting! It sounded cool. I'll be honest. It sounded cool. The ping sound. But, what even? And then you got to the Zord, and then, surprise! Hand. It's like a little hand. Why? What are we doing? Why was there a thing drawers in the middle of the thing? Yeah, what was that? Wow.
And also,
that was probably an elaborate-ass gag that just came out of nowhere. Just didn't feel satisfying overall.
Yeah, and I feel weirdly enough, the fillery draw... Actually, you know what? It wasn't even fillery draw. It was a pretty good draw to the episode. The dad coming and sort of bringing in some of her past and allowing, some meaningful interaction there. She didn't interact with her dad most of the episode, but she did get to interact with Blue, and they had something meaningful. We got Red and the dad, and that was meaningful too. And then it all culminated to the end where, again, there was some blatant symbolism where they were on either sides of the screen divided by the lamppost. They were talking, and they were, still divided. And then she crossed the dividing line to be with her dad for just the day. And that was sweet. But we didn't get enough of it. We didn't lean in on it too much. We just... And I feel it's because we had to put the Patrangers in.
Yeah. I think we did have, a good amount of them. But if you kind of actually just look at the entire episode, they really didn't have to be in this episode.
Here's
honestly.
An idea: just give them their own show.
What
are we doing?
Even in that first scene, the other Lupinrangers could have just shown up because they're usually first at the scenes, anyways.
Yeah.
So, I guess they wanted to show that her father was a good, upstanding citizen and all that other jazz. That doesn't really play into anything else that was going on in the episode, so they didn't really have to do that.
Honestly, I don't even think that played into it at all. They just needed the Patrangers in there and then shoved the dad. There was no reason for the dad to be characterized that way.
Yeah. I think that the most we got out of the Patrangers' screen time was when Pink was questioning Noel's reasoning for why he's doing things. That's the most we got out of it.
Well, she didn't say anything though.
Yeah,
when she just gave that look, I was
no,
that got me so
she
hard.
did say something in her head.
No,
Great.
like the moment that hit me the most was when she didn't say anything, but she just kind of gave
Yeah.
that look to Noel that kind of like mirrored our reactions to
Yeah.
what he was saying. We're just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also, he made that thing. Like, he built it, and then it just sort of
like this is our
made
master engineer.
buildings
He makes
move
like this...
around.
And he's like, voila. Voila.
It's
the
my
whole time.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
It was supposed to do... What even was this? Like I would have been less mad had there not been good elements that they squandered.
Yeah, because like it was a magic gimmick that really came out of nowhere. This wasn't even like a magic-based villain where it would be kind of like funny to, turn the tables on
his power
him.
was just a one-off, like, for whatever reason, he turns people old at the beginning, but then they stopped using it, like, halfway through the show,
Yeah.
halfway through the episode, and then he just spams the, like, diving into the concrete thing.
And I think we've had like a diving villain in basically every Sentai series in like the last couple of years. So
I
they're
don't even want to just
spamming that
limit it. I don't want to limit it to just Sentai. It's like all of them.
We even had a diving hero at the end of Zuo.
Oh. No, he just flew underground.
Oh, yeah,
Come
my
on.
bad. Yes,
Yeah,
you're right.
he was strong enough.
He was flying underground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this wasn't good. Like, this was just objectively bad.
I think that, like, the most I got out of this episode was the ridiculous amount of budget they decided to use on the effects at times. Like, when they did that...
Like, that's the thing. They're gonna be reusing that footage.
Yeah, but like they did use like a lot of budget for one form that honestly I don't feel like is going to be like
Well,
that
see,
appealing.
like, it's one that manifests itself as a weapon. And I
It's
feel
not
like
even a
for the
form,
next-
really. It's like the last weapon, where he's probably going to get shared around. You know?
Yeah, like, I think we're sort of, like, slowly building their arsenal. Because there was,
For
like...
what though?
Huh?
Like we're already on episode 28, and that's already like over half of the series, and I feel like they really aren't going into like the depth of the entire series. Like we're still just going
No,
week by
I'm just
week
saying
and
from
time.
like a toy selling standpoint, like they're gonna want to have those to share around, so that you're more likely to get it. Because like if it was just a red only power up, and your favorite character wasn't red, then you're not gonna need it. But if everyone gets it, then you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, like within the Lupinrangers, I mean, because
Yeah,
like the Patrangers are definitely not going to get this
no,
power up.
never. They're not gonna touch a new power up until
Speaking
next
of
episode.
power-ups, I mean, what do we got in the next episode? We got not even like a new piece of, prop to make. We just grabbed the arm off of one of the suits. One
Toku
of the
Twitter
the
has been
freaking-
like all over that since the scans have happened.
That is so bad.
I don't know, like if there's potential for that because we're still figuring out like how the suits work. Because Pink did kind of introduce like why isn't like Noel using all these power ups? Why is he giving it to other people instead of using it himself?
Doesn't do that. Like it straight up doesn't do that.
Yeah,
That's the
we
excuse
know that.
for
Nobody else does.
No, but like look at his friggin' changer.
I don't think that's the excuse they're going to use when we find out why he's not doing it, though.
It's
I think
not,
he's going to have
but
some.
Like they're gonna elaborate further on that, but it's like it's something because like we know what the toy and stuff looks like. We know why it doesn't work.
But like, how stupid are you that you're not looking at? Never mind. I guess.
Like he's too busy making magic hands.
Oh God.
Shit that turns buildings into dressers. I mean, honestly, that takes a lot of work. So credits to him.
Like,
Voila! Look at my creation.
I'm so confused. How did that scene play out? The dresser came out and he was looking for the jet, right? What was standing behind him? What was the Zord form there? Because the blimp was in the drawer. Was it just standing there with one arm? Where were the Rangers? They're in the head!
Bro, it's magic, okay? Just don't. Don't try and make sense of magic.
Right, because Noel, the engineer, built it to magic.
It's
it literally makes no sense, so it forces the enemy to do irrational things for the gimmick to work.
Like, normally these wouldn't bother me, but when you make an episode this bad, the small stuff gets, like, amplified by 2,000%.
I will defend this episode slightly. The first half was good, when they kind of deal with, like, the father and kind of contain it. I feel like the ending was just so freaking bad. Like, even by Lupin standards, that just, it left such a sour, like, taste in my mouth after that episode.
Here's the thing, though. That's why. Like, if they didn't squander the potential, this would have been fine. But they wasted time. They're wasting my time. When it could have gone to some meaningful character development. I would have liked to see more stuff with the dad.
Yeah, it made every single Lupinranger, like, look better. Like, the development for each of them. It's not just like, one or two at a time. Like, all three of Lupinrangers got moments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I wish that I cared more about their characters, though, to, like, really appreciate it, to be honest, because I felt like there were parts where I should be like, I should feel more invested in this, but I just don't, you know?
Also, the villains are just there as always, not doing anything of consequence.
So much for mixing up the formula.
And then that's it. They got their 2 scenes.
The main villains. Yeah. When the main boss dude is like, "Hey, come over here. Do the thing you do every episode." You really need scenes for that.
I think we're good. I think we're good here. Are we good?
Done. We're done. We're done.
Alright, whatever.
Thank you.
So, I just wanted to mention, before anything else, next week, build is going to end, and we're going to be
cry.
But a new show is going to start, so to celebrate the new show, Michael, stop crying, it hasn't happened yet. We're going to be doing our 3rd Toga Week! It's going to be filled with tons of build content and then a little bit of Geo stuff. So get excited for that come next week. And this week we're probably going to lead up to it with a bunch of Kamen Rider Amazon stuff that you guys haven't been watching. So make sure to ignore that in your subscription box as we bombard you with it. Guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.
Yeah.
See ya.
Honestly, we talked longer than I thought we would.
We complained longer than we thought we would.
Yeah, I can feel it going and going. I'm like, we should not continue this, but frustrations.
Why would they ruin the episode?
Yeah.